Far back as we could go.
So I got excited. That's when it sort of hit me that I was in a place where I could feel differently. But after the first day, we checked into the guest house where we were staying.
It's huge. All of the homes in this area were, built from the ground up, just grand homes. And so the four of us in this home had our own room, and each room had its own bathroom, like full bathroom with shower and tub and everything. So I made it a point often when I would talk about the trip with people to point out where we stayed and the accommodations and how nice they were, to help people develop a fuller picture of what Africa is.
We have this idea, I think, that Africa is underdeveloped and, there's this, that, and the other. We have our own stereotypes and myths about Africa, and some of them are true, but some of them are not.
We went to a scholar's sort of office, but really it is close to a U.S. embassy, but it's the W.E.B. Du Bois tomb where he's buried and his offices when he moved to Ghana. And so it was nice to go in the museum and see that, and to actually see and touch the same papers and books that are sitting in his office, and then respectfully pay homage at his burial site.
We were given a name based on the day of the week that we were born, and so mine is Ya, which it's Y-A-A, and actually that was also Mary's because we're both born on a Thursday, and so she was Big Ya, I was Little Ya.
Sticks out looking back?
The most significant experience for me on the trip to Ghana was going to the slave castle in Elmina. That was it for me. That was shocking, horrifying, disgusting, frightening, all of it.
So when the slave castle, one of the craziest things is the structure. One of them is designed that it has a church on the first floor. Church on the first floor and a dungeon beneath the church. So people were actually worshiping God while they were enslaving other people.
The dungeons were separated by male and female. So the first one that we entered was the female dungeon. And it is literally crossing the threshold from the brick, and you step and you're there. So it's this big open brick, dark thing. There's no light in there except for windows about this big.
They had this staircase that leads from the back of them up to one of their side doors in their apartments. And so of course you realize, or you're reminded of the sexual assault and the rape aspect of human trafficking and enslaving these African people.
The stench of death, even centuries later, as well as just the pain accumulated in that place, was more than I could bear. In the one at Cape Coast, the floors are literally black because they are feces that have been there for centuries, and that was the floor, but originally it was brick.
I was taking pictures and they asked, did I want to get closer to the door of no return and take a picture? And I was like, absolutely not. And but then they were like, but you're the camera guy, you really need to. And so I get there and I lean down to take the picture, and before I could even press the shutter button, I was pretty much laying there bawling and shaking so hard that I had to actually like hold myself to keep from falling out of the door of no return onto the beach.